We're glad to know you're still there and watching us. It's still The Breakfast on Plus TV Africa. Our issue this morning that we're going to discuss is that the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Senators Caucus in Osun State has endorsed President Bola Tinubu for a second term in the 2027 presidential election. In a joint statement, Senators Kamarudin Oyewumi, Olubiyi Ajagunla, and Francis Fadahunsi expressed unanimous support for Tinubu, citing his leadership, governance records, and achievements in economic reforms and infrastructure development. The senators commended Tinubu's administration for visible improvements in national security and reductions in food prices, attributing this to effective policies. They emphasized their united support for Tinubu's visionary and progressive agenda, dismissing any notion of internal dissent within the caucus. Urging President Tinubu to sustain and accelerate his developmental efforts, the lawmakers reaffirmed their pride in supporting his leadership and commitment to delivering the promises of democracy for the benefit of all Nigerians. Our guest this morning is Mr. Ladipo Johnson Esq, National Publicity Secretary Nnpp. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
I just wonder why, if someone is a very good man in the society, some people will decide to leave their family and just go join his family because he's doing so well. This is what is happening in political circles.
One, there are two things there. Doing so well is relative. What do we mean?
Allegedly, I'm not even concerned whether he did well.
And then leaving your family might be because you have issues within the family.
And you just change your name.
Things like that, and then you go and do a name change. You might not even do a name change. You might just say, these people treat me better. I'm spending Salah with them. You understand? And then later on settle with your family or what have you. But it is indicative of the problems that we have in some of our political parties and the way democracy is seen. I don't want to limit it to the politicians. I want to bring the people in. Democracy is seen and practiced within our jurisdiction.
But it just gives me cause for concern. Opposition doesn't necessarily mean they are the bad blood of any government, that they are always fighting the government, but pointing out, that's what I think, pointing out things that could have been done differently or better.
Definitely. You always hope that it's constructive opposition.
Yeah, so why would anybody just want to move because he feels that the other person is doing so well? Let me just move. Let me not sit where I should be an advisor, so to speak, or someone who will keep him on his toes.
Well, it's also, as I said, because of the way this politics is practiced. Let me give you an example. And I'm not saying this is the case with the senators from Osun. Someone comes home. The Salah is coming. He comes home. As soon as he comes home, you see people from the constituency, school fees, someone's giving birth, someone died, so. So much pressure, personal pressure on that senator or member of House of Reps. Now, he sits in the reps chambers. If he is in the opposition and he's pointing out, even though constructively, to them that no, this and that, he sees that maybe his constituency allowance is not as much. It's not as much as that of those in the ruling party at the center. Then he begins to, and then the Senate president begins to woo him or something. After a while, he'll just say, look, what's the point? I can get this committee. I can be on the defense committee. I could be on this committee, you know. So these are the little things that are playing. Now, those who know that he is representing and are not even encouraging him to put his hand in the till, You understand? Those who know that naturally do not go to him when he comes for a layer. But those people do not go out to vote either. Those who go out to vote that he controls and are ready to go are those who also come to him that are, Baba, this problem, that problem, that problem. So it's that sort of cycle. And now when you now have someone, the last in the chain, you have someone who knows what to do, who knows that democracy is this is what we stand for. You understand? He begins to see himself and say, am I serious? These people who will vote, I may as well stick to them. The main problem here is not those who don't understand that they're selling their foyers. It is we who understand what are sleeping at home, are not participating. The so-called dying middle class and what have you. I keep telling a lot of my friends and everything, no, they're chasing business. They're doing everything. If you do not get involved, you'll be ruled by nincompoops. I'm not abusing those in government, but that is the thing.
Yeah, but okay, okay. In order for us to woo these people into that circle where they will do the voting, they will be the ones that will also contribute to opinion molding, because when they go to these senators, they will say one or two things and all that. Do you think the new policy they are trying to bring, the bill they have sent to the National Assembly to make voting compulsory, is a good one at all? You're laughing.
I'm laughing because, in theory, fantastic. This is the case in some countries. In Australia, you have to vote. Say PDP, Nnpp, or APC. PDP, Nnpp, APC, or none of the above. Because the argument used to be, we don't like any of them, they're all the same. Go and press none of the above. It is a civic duty. Go and participate so that we know what sort of mandates this government has based on the policies it has sold to the people. Look at America. I know it's not compulsory in America, but the moment Trump won this time around, we have a mandate to do this, that, because he won by a large majority. So they need to know, we need to know that, okay, if President Tinubu says this and this are the things he wants to do, does he have a slim majority? Does he have a massive majority? Or does he have an election that is being contested in the courts and people don't even believe he won? You understand? That would determine the lax or the width of support for those programs that he will bring on board. If he says, I went to the people, I spoke about tax reform, don't come and tell me that there are too many taxes coming or we're removing too many. It was on the ballot and they voted massively for me. That's it.
Yeah, but everything you're saying is there are things that are supposed to happen.
Exactly. So in Nigeria, where you do not have proper data, most governors, if I go to them now and say, sir, the primary care health center in, let's use Lagos for example, in Ajegunle, how does it cater for the people there? Most of them cannot put up their laptops and say that in that area we have so amount of people, this, that, so in the age range of 0 to 20 years. So you understand what I'm saying? It doesn't allow them to plan. But in a country like Australia, they know if you do not vote. If they don't come after you, it's because you understand, you're lucky. Well, they know. So when we will get to that stage.
Yeah, but this shows that, okay, they're thinking about electoral reforms.
Yes.
And this might be a good thing, but should it be the first thing to do when you're trying to reform the electoral system? Because a lot of these people who do not vote, like you said, do not even have faith in the electoral system.
Yes.
So what should be the first thing to do? Instead of compelling people to go and vote for or do an exercise they don't believe in.
Well, Nigeria's problems are so many. That question is like you want me to write a thesis. What should I do first?
Yeah, just first step. The others, just
first steps to take. I don't know. It's so difficult. I remember before the elections, there was a time I was sitting one-on-one with Senator Konkozo, and I said to him, we were just sitting down. There was no one there, and I said to him, you know, Excellency, even if you win, where do we begin? You know? And we were both laughing that there are so many problems. You understand? So, but regarding electoral reform, I don't know. I think there are some things that must be done almost at the same time. When we're saying, let's learn from the mistakes and everything, let's make sure that it is a must that beavers must be used, things like that. At the same time, you know, the House of Reps and Senate, which is quite good, were going around saying that they did some sort of thing about electoral reform. And I was fortunate to be there, the one in Abuja. And we made a representation that, look, even the selection of the chairman of INEC should not be left to the president alone. They should look for some combination. In some countries, even the US, the electoral umpire, the Congress has a role to play. It's not just confirmation. They have the role to play in selection. So both parties have a role to play in selection. And of course, Mr. President too. So it's like that. You know, they're over there too. They don't fool themselves. They'll tell you that this judge was appointed by President Reagan, Republican leaning. This one was, even the judges, they know. And then it is left to the judges to balance things, even if you are pro-PDP. Do you understand? You know this is a constitutional matter, it is clear or whatever. So they don't fool themselves. Their electoral team have representatives of the Democrats and representatives of the Republicans in equal number.
Anyway, here we have some Rex who are card-carrying members of some parties and all that. But no, these are just asides that we're taking. The real issue here about this caucus endorsing the president, Tinubu, has to do with the quality of opposition in Nigeria. So, do we even have an opposition for 2027? Are we really moving towards the one-party system which everybody's talking about? Because we might, at the end of the day, have majority of parties or so many parties that are existing, but they are just talking about the same thing. It's just like in the Abacha era, where he got every political party to endorse him. Yeah. That is what exactly is happening here. Does it not give you worry as an opposition figure?
Well, which one is worse? Is it worry or concern?
Whichever one.
I'm slightly concerned. I'm not worried because I have hope that things might be corrected even before 2027. 1 year is a long time in politics. It's a long time. 2026 is a long time in politics. And we still have up till December 2025. And you'll find that by the end of May, if the parties are not so engrossed or embroiled in talking about movement and what have you, talking about election, they would do what they should be doing and start to talk about where we are at, governance-wise, the economy, insecurity, etc., etc. It's been 2 years. By 29th of May, it will be 2 years. So this is the time we must begin. You know, he is the student. Bola Tinubu is the student now. It's now midterm. You know, before last year they said, oh, it's too soon. It's too soon. Generally in the world, they say, when it comes to midterm, we begin to look at where this government has taken us, where we're going. Is there hope? Is there light at the end of the tunnel? Although some Nigerians have told me, stop talking about the end of the tunnel. We want the light now. You know, so if the opposition parties begin to do that, you will find that if things are seen by the generality.
I like the fact that you're using if.
Yes,
if.
yes.
Because these opposition parties that we are hoping could be saying something and doing something don't seem to be saying anything contrary to what we are seeing now. They're moving.
No.
A whole state will move its apparatus to a particular, the ruling government without any provocation, so to speak.
There's provocation.
What kind of provocation?
If the, in quotes, godfather of that state has issues that the EFCC have come knocking on a daily basis,
that's the provocation,
and everything, then he will go to join Adam Sochiomole, who said that your sins are forgiven. You understand? And that's part of the problem. You understand? The security agencies, the other, I don't know how to call them, agencies in the country tend to forget that their oath is to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, not to some governor or local government chairman or president. Not just the security agencies, I'm talking agencies, civil servants, public servants. They tend to forget that. But it is because virtually all Nigerians are contractors. So though he has a salary or she has her salary and she's a public servant, you know, they still want to do deals.
She wants to sell shoes. And
exactly, and they want to do deals.
Two things, so that we don't run out of time without me asking this. Two things. First of all, is where are we on coalition? Because we can't say it's too early. Like you said, this is midterm. And even the ruling party is not sleeping, but it seems as if the opposition is sleeping. Where are we on coalition?
No, the opposition, you see, look, people are not sleeping. Look at us at the Nnpp. We've been telling people that, look, we haven't decided what we're doing yet. Doesn't mean we're sleeping. We're moving. I keep saying that I believe that His Excellency El Rufai, we're not talking to him, but at least at my level, at the level of the party, I don't know if he's talking to Senator Kwankwaso or whatever, but I believe that he moved too early to SDP. When you want to fight a government, an administration in power, a political party in power, especially in our climate, and especially with someone like Bola Tinubu at the head of the helm of affairs, you plan, you strategize, and you look for when to hit them, when they don't have enough time to recover. But his movement with Atiku saying this and that have woken up the APC. You understand?
It could also be a script he's playing for the same person that he claims to be opposing.
I have to laugh at that, you know. I don't know.
There's a possibility as well.
Anything is possible, but I don't think so. But I don't know.
Okay, okay. The second question is now it's related. The second question is that the biggest political party, the strongest political party, is supposed to be the people.
Yeah.
And for the opposition to make a headway is to galvanize these people.
Yes.
And for the kind of rot that has been created within the system and making the people docile, making the people not even fight for their rights and all that, time to start to talk to them is now.
Yes.
What is the opposition, especially your party, because you may not know what is happening in other parties, but what are you doing to bring the people on board?
No, we've been talking, and we will talk more immediately after the end of this month. We begin to talk. Both about where the economy is and what we intend to do or what we're working towards and everything. The leader of a party, the national leader, has always had that policy that give them time to work. Don't say anything until when we're moving towards elections. So we will do our own bit. As with other parties as well, there are some people who believe we should remain as the Nnpp. You understand? Whatever comes out of it. There are some people who believe, yes, we're Nnpp. We should talk to people to come in, to strengthen and do more. There are some people who believe they should go to the APC. And some people believe in the existing coalition being formed. Some people believe in another coalition.
What do you believe? What do you
There are
believe?
many other coalitions
What
possible.
do you believe?
I believe that we need to talk to people, talk to the masses, then talk to those who are involved in politics. There are different movements out there, different persons, to build a bigger, stronger opposition.
Okay.
The question I have for those who say, let's dine with the APC, is, one, if you dine with them, do you believe that they're doing very well? You understand? That's the first question. If the answer is no, if the answer is yes, then join. If the answer is no, do you believe that by your joining them,
you can change
you can change and add to it? You understand? These are the things.
Okay, let's wrap up with this. Is your concern about winning elections or just putting the right leaders there? Because a lot will depend on that.
No, my concern is about...
As a party now.
As a party, I think we're always concerned about... we're a party of the people. Is a party based on the... now, you know, it was founded by Dr. Nnpp, but now we're a majority in the party. They have left and what have you. It is based on the dictates of the Aminu Kano psychology. It's about the masses. Unfortunately, the masses do not know properly yet that that party is for them. You understand? When they do, if they do, then you see a better movement. Okay. So that's what it is about.
Okay, I wish we had more time, and I hope that you will come back, and we'll talk more about this. But this is where we have to wrap it up. Mr. Johnson, thank you so much for coming on the program this morning.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be talking with Mr. Ladipo Johnson Esq, National Publicity Secretary of Nnpp, and our concern this morning was that some opposition parties, or people from opposition parties, are endorsing the president for 2027, something we saw in the Abacha era, and we don't know whether it's a deja vu that we're seeing here right now. But what does that hold for our democracy in Nigeria? Well, time shall tell. And like I said, this is where we wrap it up on the show this morning. My name is Nyangul Agaji. Join us again for another edition tomorrow. Bye for now.